before you ask, no, this is not a gender-swapped version of Wonder Woman. Well, for those thinking the MCU is getting stale and formulaic, here's a project that, in the best way, forgets the formula entirely. There's not a single action scene in this whole show. It's a very low-stakes buddy comedy, and for some people that may not work because it's not what they expect from Marvel, but I found this show delightfully unconventional. And I think the reason they dropped all the episodes at once instead of doing it on a weekly schedule is mainly, of course, to not clash with the March release date of Daredevil Born Again Season 2, but also because this isn't really the kind of show that lends itself to weekly viewing. The episodes don't end with this big, oh no moment that makes you want to watch the next episode the next week. It flows very smoothly into episodes that, for the most part, are pretty self-contained. This is another MCU project that stands on its own, with the exception of Ben Kingsley reprising his role as the Mandarin. But even then, the viewer is given the necessary info to follow the story. There aren't 10,000 references and name drops to past MCU projects. There's no big season finale cameo from a main Avenger. It's just kind of a cozy buddy comedy about Hollywood. And if you're like me and you're fascinated by the filmmaking process, this is both a love letter and a satire of it. However, at times it can be a bit pretentious and self-indulgent, such as when characters monologue about the noble profession of acting and how wonderful it is to be an actor. In fact, episode 6, you can skip entirely because it's essentially a 30-minute acting class. And I found that episode honestly kind of boring. In fact, I did enjoy how unconventional the show can be, though. It's probably the most out there Disney Plus series since WandaVision, including having one of the episodes be 98% black and white. However, that episode also feels pointless, because it sets up a character that I thought was going to be the villain for the second half of the show, but nope, it's just a standalone episode that doesn't affect the rest of the show going forward. It was entertaining, but it also distracted from the main narrative, like when the Book of Boba Fett series dedicated an entire episode to The Mandalorian. I also feel that timing-wise, this was released a bit too late. This should have been one of the first Disney Plus series because of the similarities to WandaVision that I said earlier, but also because it touches on the public sphere of people with superpowers. It seems maybe they're using this to try to lay the groundwork for folding mutants into the MCU after Secret Wars, but I don't know. Now, when Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. first started on ABC, there were rumors about them doing a spin-off show about damage control, and this is kind of what that could have been, but also, at the same time, they're kind of lame antagonists who don't really do anything until the last episode, and even then, I also feel that since this is a show about making a superhero movie in a world where superheroes are real, there could have been some more meta commentary on that, or they could have touched on it a bit more, maybe been a bit more satirical with it. And also, the show just kind of ends without any sort of resolution. This episode had been going, okay, what's going to happen next? What's the next episode? Oh, that's it? That's the last episode? Really? Is there a post-credit scene? No, there's not a post-credit. It's like, really? That's where you chose to stop it? I don't know. Are you that confident you're getting a season 2 or something? I don't know. It doesn't really resolve everything, unfortunately. So, while it does have some pacing and narrative structure issues, it's still a highly entertaining show that I highly recommend to those looking for a fun buddy comedy and a love letter to the art of filmmaking and acting. Wonder Man is wonderful. For me, it gets a B, an 8 out of 10, and a 4 out of 5 stars.